Tired of ads interfering with your favorite sports podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening is available on Amazon Music for all the music plus top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Stay ahead of the game by downloading the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/sports ad free. That's amazon.com/sports ad free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Why, this is Cheryl Cool, like. You're listening to that Tilton Talk show, like. Why,
We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? Birmingham's a team down at St Andrews. We are all supporters of our team. We chant a super blues, ringing all around. Now all you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads from...
Welcome to Monday night's Tilton Talk show, sponsored by Image Cleaning and in conjunction with RSVP, live on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube for the first time ever tonight, and then of course on Switch FM 107.5 and DAB every Tuesday at 8 p.m. across the wider Birmingham area. Despite taking the lead twice on Friday night's derby at the Hawthorns under the lights, we came away with nothing. Yet more controversial refereeing with a penalty that for me Mahoney got the ball and was clearly outside the box. When are we going to get the rub of the green? We never thought we'd be saying this, but we're 5 points off relegation after such an amazing season. We've got a fight in our hands once again, but it's in our hands at least. It's Leeds next to St Andrews, and that's going to be a tough one. But you know, all we ask is the players and the fans all put a shift in. We need them to rise up and they need us to rise up. So rise up we shall in true Birmingham City fashion. Great to have Tom Ross with us tonight, the voice of Midlands football, so I'm sure we're going to have a busy one. So as always, strap yourselves in and get ready for the ride on the world's only Tilton Talk show.
They're gonna give us what we're longing for. It's Birmingham forever. Let's hear it from the stand. So come on, City, sing this song once more. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? We are the lads from the Tilton.
As we said earlier, welcome to the Tilton Talk show. Of course, it is Monday, 7:30 through till 9. This is what we do on a Monday. It's what Monday nights are made for. Glad to see so many of you tuning in already. And a big welcome to our special guest tonight and friend of the show, Tom Ross.
Good to be here, boys.
Thank you very much.
Always good to be here. This is what I miss.
James Beattie had biscuits last week.
I know.
Nothing for me, by the way.
James
Nothing
Beattie had
for me.
biscuits last week.
Hey, that won't get back.
That's a lack of respect.
You watch Twitter later.
You won't be coming again, will you?
You watch Twitter and Facebook, you're going to get hammered. To be fair, though, I'm really pleased. Thank you so much, because it's Lent and I'm off sweet things for Lent. I'm totally off sweet things. No biscuits, cakes, chocolates or anything sweet. And Lent started Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm giving up things for Lent for Lent.
But now, I went to the doctor's Friday and I've not had any of these sweet things. Got on the scale and lost an ounce. I was absolutely gutted.
Well, you done had haircut.
I might as well have them, yeah. But no, I've given them up for Lent, so I'm glad there's no biscuits.
Ray says, evening all from Costa del Daventry. I'll leave it to Ray as well.
Costa del.
No, it's great to have you back, Tom.
Been a lot happening since I was last here, that's for sure.
Ain't they just?
You know, but you mentioned Friday, I've got to say, you know, that was forget what the tackle was. It's never. See, tackles are subjective because the referee, even if you win the ball, if in the referee's opinion it was aggressive, overly aggressive, he'll say no. Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm saying. Even if you win the ball, so you can argue that bit. What you can't argue was outside the box. It was outside the box. End of story. And that is absolutely galling for somebody like Gary Monk who needs points. We've still got work to do.
Yeah, lots of it.
So I thought it was a decent performance. You know, it could have been ahead as well.
I think we should have made more of the first half, to be honest with you.
That's what I mean. That was when they were the best.
Yeah, because they changed it. They went, was it 4-3-3 second half, was it?
Yeah, but Robson Kanu on, didn't they?
Yeah,
and just went a little bit more physical up top. Pushed Gale into a striker's role, which, you know,
he's not been doing that. To be fair, he's been wide.
Honestly, considering West Brom are fourth, and Dwight Gale hasn't played as a striker all season. It's remarkable,
I
really.
think in the modern game, though, you do find that they'll have three strikers, won't they?
Yeah.
Effectively three.
Yeah.
That's the way they play. So, but they've got goals in them. They score goals for fun. And they've kept Premier League players.
They have all season.
And twice, because we should have beaten St Andrews with a better team by a country mile.
Yeah.
And I think Friday night as well should have got something out of the game. But wouldas, shouldas, couldas.
Yeah.
Yep, that's on to the next one, isn't it, really?
Absolutely.
And Jerry Gill says, evening, lads from the sunny West Country.
Jerry, what a manager he's turning out to be.
Yeah,
doing a good job at Bath.
Doing well at Bath, isn't he?
Absolutely, well, brilliant stuff. Yeah, well done, Jerry.
I taught him everything about management, by the way. Playing for the ex-Blues team.
Was that because of your first introduction to management on the...
No, when he came to Blues, and he played for the Blues All-Stars, which I managed with Kevin Broadhurst. So I think he picked up a lot from me.
There you are.
Well, I'm telling him he has.
He's an inspirational figure.
What a good lad he is as well, Jerry.
Jerry, you've got to be grateful. You've got to be grateful.
Great lad, Jerry Gill. Top lad.
Okay, so as we said at the top of the show, now we are on live tonight, Facebook Live. We're on Twitter. We're on Skype. We're on YouTube Live. Skype. We can use Skype now for phone-ins.
Wonderful.
So we're going to do some more testing on the Skype midweek, and then we should have that up and running.
Since I finished at Free Radio, which is 2016, I had the TV thing for a while, but then money took over that problem. I miss this bit, engaging and interacting.
Yeah.
I miss this desperately.
Yeah.
I've got so busy doing boxing, doing talk sport, but the actual interacting with Blues and local football, I was going to say the V word, but the local football fans.
He sinks.
I was going to do. I miss that interaction.
Yeah.
Red card.
I did it for 40 years, so I miss it. I miss the interaction, and arguing the toss with people. It's wonderful.
Well, I was going to do exactly that, actually. If we were going to talk about the Albion game.
Go on then.
Because I think what has surprised me a lot is the uproar about the penalty. Because I think it's a stonewaller.
What penalty?
Yeah. It's Albion.
Oh, you're not driving with eyes like that.
Mahoney. Cullen gets done.
No. You take them.
I don't need them. I don't need
It's
them.
outside the box.
I've seen it over and over again.
Forget the tackle. It's outside the box.
So Mahoney wins the ball by diving in. No, honestly, it's fine. Mahoney dives in, wins the ball. Because he's dived in, he's given the opportunity, the left back, the opportunity to make the most of that. Now, as he wins the ball outside the box, now if you carry on that frame, the left back leaves his leg and goes over Mahoney,
but the leg's
inside the area.
Not having it. I watched it 50 times. I must have watched it 50 times. That challenge and the foul is outside. I accept what you say about the foul, maybe, but he was outside the box. Give a free kick, do what you want, but it ain't in the box, and that is what drives people mad. Not like yourself. I've watched it loads of times. I'm not decrying your opinion because we all have different opinions.
Yeah.
I didn't personally. I didn't even think the tackle was that bad. I didn't honestly. I didn't think the tackle was that bad.
As soon as you go flying in, you are giving the opportunity.
Well,
you're giving the
we
referee.
might as well all wear tutus and it's not been a game for men.
Yeah, but you give the opportunity. You give the referee and the fullback the opportunity to make the most of that situation.
No, hang on. That is not Birmingham City's fault.
No, of course not.
If a player, and all players do it though these days, they look for a reason to go down.
Yeah.
Is that what? Is that? I find this amazing that they accuse referees of doing this, they accuse the league of doing this, they accuse the EFL of doing that.
Yeah.
But for 90 minutes, I'll cheat you, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
But you make a really good point that just makes the referee's life even more difficult, which is why the implementation of VAR is so crucial.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more.
Absolutely crucial.
Right, a lot of comments coming in. Stonewall penalty, grow up, Andrew Cash. Outside the box, Jay Raisey. The contact carried into the box. That doesn't really matter. The initial tackle outside the box.
Outside. No, it doesn't. Check the rules. Check the laws.
The fact that it can carry on into the box is an important factor.
It's where the tackle's made, and that was outside the box.
Alex Russell, I agree. As a stonewaller, Mahoney shouldn't have been diving in there.
He thinks it's a penalty as well.
Is it time to sponsor Mr. Fun for something?
But it's an interesting analogy, if I can give you. Paul
Ipkiss, if that's a penalty, I'm a male model.
For 89 minutes, right? Players, Birmingham players, every club For 89 minutes, they try to persuade the referee to make a mistake.
Yeah.
They kick a ball out. They know it's not their throwing.
Everyone goes up, yeah.
They go corners, free kicks, diving in the box. For 89 minutes, they try to force the referee to make a mistake.
And this is the difference between rugby and football.
But when he makes a genuine...
Oh, come off it.
It is.
What an absolutely ridiculous cheap shot.
What is it?
Well, rugby, the arbitrators of good play and honest sportsmanship, where they take blood capsules to and tactical substitutions and biting each other in scrums and things
yeah, but
like
not
that.
all. But
Not everybody dies.
Listen,
I hate that argument.
I'd rather you...
I'm loving this time.
I'd rather you kick me than cheat me. I'd rather you kick me, and I've spoke to a lot of players, past and present, and they all agree. Kick me, but don't cheat me.
Yeah,
but
I
now-
don't see I don't see much difference in it.
Because there's an honesty about somebody giving you a dig, you give them one back and all the rest of it. But to actually go down without being touched does my brains in. That really is the lowest. You can't sink any lower than that. And people have said to me, well, you wouldn't mind if it won Blues the Cup. Yes, I would. I wouldn't want to win the Cup that way. No way. To just dive with nobody touching you makes me sick.
Yeah, that's fair. It makes it... I feel worse when somebody goes in for a really nasty challenge.
Oh, no.
Personally.
No, hang on, there's a difference here. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So like a Roy Keane on Haaland.
That has to be
That's
outlawed.
the lowest of the low.
That has to be outlawed. Any deliberate attempt to injure...
Yeah.
No place.
That's
in
the
game.
lowest of the low,
Immediate
yeah.
red card gone.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But tackling, physicality.
Yeah.
And remember, we stop it. You said it yourself. Check the frame by frame. That gives you such a false impression.
Yeah, because that's not football.
It's an instant game.
I agree with that.
And if I come in to tackle you, and you, because you're quicker than me, you manage to get away, why should I be sent off because you're quicker than me?
Yeah.
If in the referee's opinion it's not a deliberate attempt to injure, I've just been late. Give me a foul, get on with the game. But these days, managers are waving hands. They all want players sent off. It's a game for
anything to give their team half an inch, and people will go for
It's
it.
a game for snowflakes. That's what it is at the moment.
Pete Taylor saying that was a Stonewall penalty is like saying Ndoye is better than Patrick Vieira.
Close.
Outside the box and off. I don't know why you would put and off, but no.
So he thought it was outside the box, but he should have been sent off.
I don't think we should have been seen. How can you be
of
sent
course he
off for
shouldn't
getting the
have been sent
ball?
off.
For his sake.
100% no
They're
pen
sending
mark
off, no
because...
You hear so much nonsense. For example, the one you hear all the time is studs up. You cannot tackle without your stud showing. It's impossible.
It is impossible.
It's impossible.
You
The
can't
difference
decide what
is
to tackle,
the
can you?
difference is if your foot's well off the ground.
Yeah, if
that's the difference.
If it's dangerous play, dangerous.
So if you go over the top, but then you deserve to be. I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
No place for it in the game.
Yeah.
But there has to be physicality. It's a man's game. I hate all this nonsense that we hear these days. Alan Shearer's the worst, by the way. There was contact. Oh, I'll touch you. If I put my finger on your shoulder, there's contact. I mean, you've got to dive. Does it?
Because
if you check the laws...
And for him, he was the worst.
But the laws are quite clear. Any challenge has to have enough power to put you to the ground. You can't just have a finger on your shoulder and fall over, which is what they're doing. There has to be enough force to force you to the ground. And there isn't in most cases.
So Dennis will sponsor you to play rugby.
Why would I want to play such a dishonest, aggressive sport?
Oh, my God.
Kev Kelly, if and when VAR is implemented, this type of decision will need to be taken away from the ref once he has referred it to the fourth officials team, saves the ref from abuse on the pitch.
I think that's a good point. Saves the ref from... Because if you've got that technology, we should be using it. Now, people say, and this is one about our media I hate. One mistake, and they pick on that. VAR's rubbish. If VAR analyses 100 things and gets 2 wrong, but 98 right, game-influencing decisions, I'll put up with that.
It's better than a standard referee.
It's better than having 98 wrong and 2 right.
Yeah.
So I'm with that. I'm with it.
But the important thing about VAR is that one on Friday night. So the referee gives the penalty. Okay. Now, if the VAR panel suggests that the referee goes and has a look at that. So he goes to the touchline, he has a look at that. If he then decides that it's still a penalty, then that's up to him, and that we can't complain about that, because whether we believe it or not, whether Gary Monk believes it or not, professional referees know more about the rules of football than we do. Mm-hmm. That's their job to learn about
Here's a
that.
question. It's a good point you make. They do know more because they know more about the laws than we do. But
do they know more about the game?
Do they understand the game?
Yeah.
What about tackling? Because I've had this at referees forums. I've been hammered by them all over the Midlands, and they go, well, what's law 52 part 2? I said,
Does that really matter?
Because I know that I can tell you now.
Yeah.
There's only one law in the game. What the referee says goes. That's the laws.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And we've got to stop this crowding of the referee as well.
Absolutely.
Our players.
But-
It's got to,
They have stopped it, but it's
It's
still
such
happening.
an emotive sport. Such an emotive sport that
Well, what
if
sport
you think
isn't emotive?
if you
Chess
think
is
you've been
emotive. When I
done,
played chess with my son and he beat me
No,
the other
it
week,
is.
that was
I think-
emotive, right?
I think though,
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
But to use rugby's an emotional sport. But they don't crowd the referee because they know the penalty.
but if they crowded the referee, they know that the referee has that technology available to them. So if VAR comes in, thankfully, when VAR comes in,
Premier League next year, isn't it?
Premier League next year, yeah. But you
if-
will
know,
see
if,
less
for example-
crowding of
for
the
example,
referee.
Here's a thing for you. If the player final, let's assume the player final was, say, Aston Villa against West Brom.
Yeah.
There's no VAR.
No.
It's there at Wembley.
Yeah.
But they're not going to use it
It's
because it's not being
farcical.
used in the
It's farcical.
Championship.
We had
Such an
one. We had
important
one the other week in the FA Cup.
Yes.
Premier League grounds were allowed to use it. Championship grounds weren't allowed to use it in the same competition
Absolutely.
on the same weekend. Farcical. And you have to throw that. You can throw that at the FA.
The rules have to be the same for everybody.
Yeah, of course. If you're going to have it in a competition, you have it across the board in that competition from a certain point. Obviously, you're not going to have it in the qualifying rounds at Redditch United because they haven't got the facilities to be able to do that. But if you say fourth round onwards, VAR is installed in this competition, it's got to be everywhere. They've got to be able to have it everywhere.
But it's a difficult job, isn't it?
Very.
I mean, I watched that. What was the game I saw the week? Was it
Cardiff one.
Celtic? Was it Celtic?
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
offside. Was it Celtic or what
Chelsea.
game? Chelsea.
Yeah.
He must have been
Country mile offside. But Warnock is raging. I'm not a massive fan of Warnock, but he's raging, and he's rightly so because
That's emotional.
Yeah,
It's his job at stake. His
and
salary.
it's their Premier League status at stake. It's £200 million at
But you
stake.
know, the linesman or assistant referee.
Yeah.
One job really for me.
Yeah.
Because that's a game influencing decision.
Yeah.
Whether or not a player has walked 2 yards further up to take a throw in, or whether there's 4 people warming up, who matters?
Yeah.
Those are the important ones we want you to get right. Game influencing decisions.
Yeah.
Penalty shouts, offsides, they're important ones. If you miss, I don't know, whatever is on the centre circle, nobody.
Like you said, the one where
It doesn't, but then that
a double
centre
hit.
circle could lead up to a goal.
Yeah,
or
but generally,
But
I'm
you've
saying
got so long.
I know what you're saying.
it's got to be game
defend
influence.
it better.
If somebody punches somebody in the box and he's caught, there has to be some way of dealing with game influencing decisions. And we've seen players in our past where players get sent off and they shouldn't have been.
or even the wrong player.
Or even the wrong player.
Yeah.
They're game influencing decisions. And Warnock, and I understand Warnock's frustration at this. He's been hammered today, but I understand it because it's not only him, all his players and their wages and their families and it affects so many people. Get it right. And if there's technology there, use the blessed thing.
Yeah, and the technology is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Technology is there, and it's
I've got to
and
say-
it's
But
But I
excellent.
do agree with you.
I've got to say, though, the other day I went to see, for TalkSport, I covered Milton Keynes against Yeovil, League Two.
Okay.
I loved every minute of
Yeah.
it. There was wingers going past, running fullbacks and crossing the ball. There was goalmouth action, defenders throwing their butt. Oh, that could all catch on, couldn't it? There wasn't a drag back or a step over in sight. It was brilliant.
Ray did make an excellent comment, which has gone off my screen now, and he said only spitting is worse than cheating.
Spot on. And that is
Absolutely spot on.
I've got to be honest, that is the worst of all for
The
me.
worst of the worst.
You spit at me, but you were surely would you rather be spat at or kicked?
Spitting is disgusting, and it's the lack of respect that you've got for somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're basically, if I'm spat on the back, it's basically you've got no respect for me. But I'd also say if you came into me 2-footed going for me knee, I'd say you haven't got much
But
respect for me there either.
Hang on. Fairly typical, if you don't mind me saying, you're using the very extreme to prove a point.
Yeah. Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
90% of tackles, 95% of tackles.
I'm not against
are
tackling,
Good, honest, hard. There's nothing wrong with a really tough tackle, and you can get hurt in a fair
Yeah.
tackle.
Yeah.
Can't you? You can get hurt in a fair
of course
tackle.
you can, yeah.
I'll get hurt crossing the road and off the curb.
But, you know, I love that. I think tackling is an art. It's a dying art. But it's an art in the game. People love to see a good... I remember once a game at Robbie Savage. It was an absolutely flat game. And Robbie Savage run towards the tunnel and smashed into a player. In fact, it might have been a free kick, I can't remember. But it wasn't over the top or anything. He smashed it. Who then hit the linesman, who then went by the boards. The referee went mad. The crowd, it lifted the whole flipping game.
Yeah.
And it can do. I think tackling shouldn't be, you know, because all the academy coaches, all the Barcelona-esque people, they just want players. Let the best players show their skills. That isn't what our game's about. Else we'll have Messi at left back.
Yeah.
It's about talented people trying to get the better of tough defenders as well. Yeah. That's an art.
Yeah, you got to have both sides of it, yeah. Only if it's fair, though.
Only if it's fair.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you 100% there.
Yeah.
If you're trying to hurt somebody, it's got to be gone.
Yeah.
Sam Bailey has asked, does anybody know if the ref has come out and said he got it wrong? I don't think they ever would.
Does it matter?
No.
It doesn't matter, and it's over. It's finished.
Because we've had that in the past, haven't we? I remember Lee Clark and Gary Rowett, referees ring them saying, sorry, got that wrong.
Yeah.
Don't even bother telling me.
Yeah. It's even worse then, yeah.
Absolutely.
But, you know, and the one, like you said, Warnock's been hammered. Like I said, I'm not his biggest fan. I'm not a fan of Warnock in general, really. You know, his conduct over the years has been, you know, pretty poor in certain occasions. But his comments about Mike Riley, the referee supremo, you know, you said it. They know all the rules off by heart, and they will implement them. But they don't know the flow of the game, if you like.
The game.
You know how the game works, how you react to going down and things like that. But maybe that's the way. Maybe that's the way we want to go. Maybe that is the way the referees want to go, where actually they are going to be robots. They're not going to come out and talk to anybody. They're going to implement the letter of the law to the letter of the law, and that's the way we're going to be.
As Pete Taylor says here, Hawkeye in cricket and tennis is essential. They never complain about taking decisions away from the umpire or the referee.
Yeah, absolutely spot on.
But you know, the cricket one, the Hawkeye with cricket, the whole basis behind it is to give the umpire still as much control as they possibly can. So you have the umpire's call bracket. Because they want to back the umpire still. So if the umpire's made a decision, unless it's an absolute howler, they're going to stick with the umpire's decision.
Limited to each team skipper having 3 calls, maybe.
At the moment, the point you have that, the fourth one which is wrong, they're going to kick off again. Yeah. That's the trouble with that.
Yeah. You can't have it. Then you have to make it absolutely clear that it's going to be for game influencing decisions, not anything else.
Yeah.
Alan Minute says they might know the rules, but the rules are there. The problem is interpretation.
It's not interpretation. It's whether you're happy with the rule. I saw a comment. I think it was Paul Hipkiss who went on. I don't want to dwell too much on this incident in particular, but the Man United penalty against PSG. So he said that was the worst use of VAR there's been in recent history. Well, actually, the letter by the letter of the law, the PSG defender used his arm to increase the size of his body, and it hit his arm inside the penalty area. Therefore, that is a penalty. By the letter of the law, that is a penalty. Now, if you don't like the letter of the law, if you don't like the ruling, then that's a different matter altogether.
I thought the letter of the law was you had to direct the ball.
No, if you've moved your arm, if your arm is increasing the size of the size of your body, making yourself bigger.
So that's what I'm saying. So if it hits you, it's going to take a different direction.
Yeah,
you have to redirect the ball.
Well, I mean, the ball was good. He shouldn't have handballed it because the ball was going miles over anyway. But by the letter of the law, that is a penalty.
Do you remember when they tried to help referees? They said, right, what we're going to do is take out that phrase, if in the referee's opinion. That was before every rule. If in the referee's opinion, they took that out. And now we say, well, the referee's got to go and look at VAR and decide if he thinks it's wrong. It's the same thing. It's always his interpretation and opinion.
It has to be. It has to, unless you're going to have a robot. An actual robot who says, you know, this is the letter of the law, therefore that is a penalty, then you still have to treat the referee's word as...
How much is the assessor plays in this? Because remember, these referees are earning a lot of money now.
Yeah.
They can't afford to be relegated. So they'll be thinking, do they referee for the benefit of the game?
Yeah.
Or the benefit of the assessor?
Yeah, definitely. But
see where I'm coming from?
Refereeing for the benefit of the laws of the game.
Yeah. So rather than the fans and the game and the players, I'll do it for them. Because then, if they do it and all the players went, great today, ref, and all the fans went, what a good referee, he could get marked down still. So I just wonder whether or not we get rid of the assessor.
Never had assessors in Clive Thomas's times, did we?
But we didn't have TV all the time then, did we?
No, and we had one camera.
Exactly.
And now every single thing is highlighted. We saw that yesterday with the Celtic game when the Rangers player used his elbow.
Yeah.
Nobody would have seen that.
Yeah, no.
You know, TV picked it up straight away. So I think there's a lot of things changed about the game.
Yeah, and of course with Hugh Johns back in our day, we only had one camera on the halfway line as well.
Star Soccer, Sunday lunch, never beat it. Brilliant.
With the Corona pop. Interjection.
Nick, just let you know, we are broadcasting on YouTube, and Pete Taylor wants to know where we're reading the chat from. I have just explained that we're reading it from Facebook, but eventually we will read them from YouTube and Twitter.
From multi-platform.
Yeah. Multi-platform. This
is the first time we've done this tonight, so I'm glad it's worked so far.
It's a bit of an experiment for next season, but
I was expecting it to crash after 4.6.
There
you go.
But you know, there is a lot of work for Blues to do.
Yes. Yeah, it's huge.
A lot of work.
But there's so many positives to take from Friday. You know, the penalty decision aside, I thought there were so many positives to take. You've gone to West Brom, who are, like I said, a fourth in the table, score goals for fun, and actually, the reason you've lost that game is because of individual mistakes. They haven't battered us. They haven't. They hammered the door down at us.
Part of me is going with you 100%. The other half's gone, I don't care. We're at a stage now. If we keep doing that, we get relegated. We have to win a game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
If you cut those defensive errors out...
The last 8 games, the 4 against teams going, 3 for automatic promotion and 1 for playoffs, Derby.
And
We've got 4
down,
relegation teams. Personally, I think Ipswich are gone.
Yes.
They're done. They're done. Bolton winning, didn't they, the weekend?
Yeah.
Didn't help anything.
Then they're going on strike.
The Bolton players didn't turn up today, did they?
They're going on strike.
Didn't they?
No, because they've not been paid
so
for the last 2
maybe there's
months.
only one place.
Yeah, I think there
and
is.
they got battered 6 the weekend.
Rotherham did, yeah.
So
Our goal difference is an extra point. You can almost say we're 6 points clear of the drop. But there's still points to be picked up.
Or needed.
Yeah.
Needed.
And that, BT said last week they know that.
The other worry I have, and it is a worry, is that everybody's gone, 9 points, line drawn under it, we move on.
Yeah.
No, there isn't.
Yeah.
Because the accounts have to be right this year, or we're in the same position at the end of this season.
I wasn't under that impression.
No, definitely. There's no line drawn under it yet. You still have to, with every single situation, you have to be within your 13 million. 13 million a year is the most you can make in losses. If Blues make more than that, they might find themselves in a transfer embargo again.
Say if they've lost 3, the seasons we've been punished for don't come into account. No.
You can't double jeopardy.
No,
you can't
exactly.
So
but as long as we're under 13 million,
under 13,
yeah.
I haven't seen the half yearly results. But I read somewhere that they were quite poor.
Okay.
So there's still, all I'm trying to not paint a black picture, but just to say, listen, there's still work to do.
Yeah.
Mind you, get out of jail card just might be selling Jay Adams. I don't want them to.
Yeah.
But that,
they will in the summer.
I think that might happen.
It's inevitable. I think.
Good shout here from Martin Swinsko. I'm a referee, been doing it for 25 years. Everybody slags us off, but they wouldn't dare to take the ref's course and pick up the whistle and have a go.
Interesting, because they all do that, referees, and I'm sure he might be a very good referee, but they all got 25 years experience. Now that might be 25 years experience, or it might be 25 times 1 year's experience. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? You can have 25 years where you're learning, have all that experience, or you can think you've arrived and have 1 year's experience and have that same 1 year.
I think from the way he's written it, he's been doing it for 25 years.
No, but it's still,
I know what you're saying.
Doesn't mean he's got 25 years experience.
He might have been rubbish for 18.
But the thing is, that is typical. That is typical of referees. Typical of referees. You wouldn't take up the whistle.
Yeah.
That's not the issue. I wouldn't go on stage and try and sing. Rod Stewart does it, but I still criticise what he does if I don't like what he does.
Yeah, you get paid, and the professionals get paid handsomely.
They are not immune to criticism. Yeah. Sadly, it's like the secret society. They're not answerable. Yeah. They don't come out and speak.
That's Mike Riley.
They always used to back in the day on Star Soccer, didn't they? We always used to have a referee interview.
But I don't remember that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since Mike Riley has become the head of the referees, though, him as a referee, when he was a referee, he was very headmaster like. I'm in charge, and I'm not going to say anything after the game. This, that, and the other. And since he's come in, he has implemented that. Don't talk about the game after the game. You'll be assessed. You'll do your talking with the group and everything like that, and that's.
You only know if they're punished by them being dropped.
Yeah, exactly. If a Premier League referee turns up in the Championship next week, he's had a bit of a rollicking. So.
On another note, Jay Raisey wants to know if you use FastPay.
What's FastPay?
FastPay.
That blows the.
Oh no! Sadly, I don't. But I've heard people moan their heads off about that.
Well, not this
I
one.
love it.
He loves
Do
it.
you?
Yeah,
he loves it.
What is it? Is that
contactless payment using your season ticket?
For contactless payment?
Yeah. Top up your season ticket and it's contactless payment.
Oh, excellent! Listen, anything that makes the experience, the matchday experience, good can only be good, can't it?
Yeah.
He don't sound like he's happy with it, by the way.
No,
You're right.
50-50 split.
It has been a contentious issue.
Marmite,
I think at the start of the season
I think
there
they've got
were
it
teething
better.
problems.
They've
They've
certainly got it
definitely
better.
improved it. Yeah.
You're listening to the Tilton Talk Show every Monday on Facebook Live and SRBRadio.com at 7:30. Welcome back to part 2 of the Tilton Talk Show.
The NFL has mastered the technology and the techniques to manage a game with one of the most complex rule sets. We could learn from this example, maybe see this at Spurs next year. Thing is if you do it at Spurs, you've got to do it everywhere, haven't you?
No.
But also,
hang on.
I quite like NFL, but it's 10 seconds.
You're talking
and
about a
10
sport that
seconds and
stops
stopping.
every
Yeah,
second.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
no fast pace about
Yeah.
it.
I don't like NFL.
No. Ice hockey, different class, but
Yeah.
just not. To compare the two is just. Listen, I know
You
lots of
don't-
people who love it. By the way.
Yeah, I don't mind. I watch NFL, but you don't need to. You don't need to try and develop a new system.
Do you know what
you've got the system in VAR? Get used to it
And use it
improve
properly.
it,
Yeah.
use it better, and you've got it.
The Americans are great. Like I was in New York last year. Was it last year or the year before? I went to see the Yankees play the Orioles.
Okay, yeah.
And I've got to tell you, I have still no idea what the score was. I don't care, right? But
Doesn't matter to
what they do brilliantly
Yeah.
is make it an
Yeah,
experience.
it's an event.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They have entertainment. They have all the screens and all the things and all the shouts and all the singing. Then an ex-veteran soldier comes on, he gets around.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything was absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
And I got ID'd, which made me happy.
yeah.
What, for age?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're
For
laughing
beer.
at.
For
What you
beer.
yeah,
Was
for
it
beer.
beer?
I went in, no, for Diet Coke.
Oh, okay.
I went into the concourse and I said, she went.
This could be your
she went.
claim
Have you
to
got?
fame."
She went. Have you got your ID? And I said, I was going to say, are you taking the? And she went. No, she said it. I was very happy at that stage, but she went, no, I have to ask everybody. I went, oh, fair enough. So I showed her. But no matter who you are, whatever age you are, they show you. But there's the thing, though. Every kid coming into that ground that day got a proper baseball bat,
Yeah.
right, signed by the team, and took it into the ground. There was no aggravation. Can you imagine giving that to
some baseball bats at
yeah,
some time.
but can you imagine giving everybody a baseball bat? It
Wouldn't work.
But there are things we do need to improve on, and one is this tribal attitude. Sometimes I think there's no place for it. Listen, getting behind your team and making it hostile. I love all that.
Yeah, you don't want to get rid of that. Yeah.
Sir Alex said when I was in Steve Bruce's room, this is one of the most hostile places we come to, he said, and his words were, I've been to Galatasaray.
He wrote that in his book, I think, didn't he?
He said that in Steve Bruce's room. Steve Bruce, I was in there. And so I know that exactly what he feels. I love that hostility. There are bounds you don't step over.
Yeah, cool.
We've been corrected, by the way. Martin Swinsko says, Tom, they're called observers now, not assessors. They went out the game 2
are
years
they?
ago.
So they're observers. Is it the same person doing the same job?
Probably.
There you go.
Rebranding.
And,
Linesman
well, it's
and
like
assistant
linesman.
referee,
I still call them
yeah.
lino. And all the players do, you know. The players say the lino did this or that. Nobody goes to the assistant referee. Oh. And you know what I saw recently? They're all in the middle of the pitch high-fiving each other. I nearly fell about. What's the game coming to?
Right.
Game's gone.
The game's gone, to quote a phrase.
Whoever says that?
When you first came here.
But it is. Watching them high-five, oh my days.
Stephen van der Vorm, were the rumours true that we were set to appeal the points decision had we won on Friday night? I
hope not.
I don't think
I
that's
hope
going
not.
to-
I'd have
It's
been
confirmed
absolutely
now that we're not
stunned.
appealing.
No,
Yeah.
because you don't want it dragging into next year.
No.
And you don't want, aggravate it and get another 3 points.
And Steve Gill, great to see the Duke get his goal. It absolutely was. You're dead right, my friend.
He worked.
Right.
Yeah, I think there was
Jukovic.
Yeah, there was one point in the first half when the Albion have broke, and the ball's come to the Holgate, the right back, and he's gone to cross it, and it's Jukovic cutting out the cross. He's ran 60 yards, full.
I love him
back.
to death, me.
You cannot throw any accusations at that bloke that he don't work hard enough. His work rate is
Tell you what he
unbelievable.
does, and I'm not being rude to him, and I like him immensely. He's a great lad. He's limited ability, but he makes the most of it. He uses his strengths for the benefit of the team, and I love that.
And we play to his strengths, the way we have done at the start of the season when he was getting his goals, and then the second half of the season where he's creating goals.
Got a lot to be grateful to him.
Yeah, definitely.
That's for sure.
Che up front on his own probably wouldn't have got anywhere near the goals he has this season. But it was brilliant to see him get his goal. It was thoroughly deserved. Unfortunately, it didn't account for any points. But
Well, Jez says we're on a financial fair play business plan for the next 3 years. If that's the case, then we're hardly likely to step over the mark, are we?
For 3 years?
We'd be foolish to. But, throughout the whole process, all you ever heard was we're in constant contact constant dialogue with the EFL to make sure we're following the rules.
Is that absolutely definite for 3 years?
I don't know. That's what
I'm checking that out.
Yeah. I would have, because the rule is 39/3, isn't it?
And we've had the 3.
Yeah.
And the business plan was to get us in line to the end of the season.
Yes. So if we've lost less than 13 this year, I think we are
back on track.
We are good to do what we want, not what we want, but we can be competitive in the summer, and that's the main thing.
Well, I'm not so sure how true that is, because we're running at max now, and I don't know how much they'll be allowed to spend. The owners, I'm told, want to spend. They want to spend,
yeah.
But because
they've shown they want to spend. That's why we're in this mess.
It's all about revenues, and I suggested a week ago or 2 weeks ago in the Birmingham Mail, I said, look, why not then, if you've got rich owners, because the needs of Birmingham are different to the needs of Rotherham.
Yeah.
The needs of Leeds are different to the needs of Accrington, Stanley. Yeah. But all those have got to vote. They're all loving FFP because the chairman don't have to spend. But we've got rich owners, Villa have got rich owners, Albion got owners who all want to spend. Now, if they have, then I say, right, say to the owners, you've got to put an irrevocable bond with the EFL to prove that you will be able to meet all your obligations. If they do that, then let them go ahead and spend and bring in some decent players.
This Tom's point is why I'm convinced sooner rather than later we're going to find ourselves with the Premier League too, rather than an EFL, because Leeds being in the Championship is completely incomprehensible to Leeds United.
Sheffield Wednesday,
Derby County, Nottingham Forest.
You know what? We haven't got a Premier League 2 because it's been muted because Premier League don't want it.
Yeah, well,
because they'll have to spread a bit more of the money, and they don't want to do it.
Of course, that's their brand diminished. Yeah.
On another subject, completely and entirely, but it comes up most weeks. Kevin French wants to know: would Tom knock the main stand down?
Well, it's ever so weird this, because when they did the stadium,
that's your base.
I'd like to have done it,
day,
but I love St Andrews as it was.
Yeah,
I love that old main stand. I've been there. I've worked there for 40 years, sitting there. But you have to move on in life, and I wish they'd have finished it off.
Yes,
because it would have been special then.
Yeah,
and they've got plans which still available. The plans they had planning permission to develop the railway end into another tier at the top, building over the railway.
Yeah,
I get dizzy when I get up there as it is.
They had that, but they had the planning permission. Karen Brady and they got the planning permission. That was so they had everything done, just didn't go ahead with it.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see it finished. If I'm honest, if I'm truthful,
I'd rather sit in
our old stand than sit in the London Stadium.
Yeah,
and be about 2 miles from the centre circle.
Yeah.
I went past it the other Friday, and I thought, no, it's not your home. At least with Spurs, they've kept the site.
It looks just
amazing,
incredible. It looks like a proper footballing amphitheatre.
It's just taking football to the next level.
What's he on about? When football need an amphitheatre? What's he on about?
No, but it's
God's sake, man,
kill him!
You go. You're a Spurs fan. You go to that ground every week. That's your home. Just look at it.
It's still going to be called White Hart Lane, isn't it?
I have to be honest.
Rightly so as well, because that's what the fans will call it. The fans fans will be saying we're off down the lane, whether it's called the Dubai Airlines lane or whatever for sponsorship benefits, whatever. But the fans will still quite. We don't. I don't know anybody fan who says we're off down the Trillion Trophy.
No, St Andrews.
Do you know what I mean?
They speak of little else in Small Heath than amphitheatres.
I want an amphitheatre.
I'm telling you, dear oh dear.
Some questions coming in for you, Tom. Tom, what was your favourite game you've commentated on?
Commentated on? Always been a few of them. For Blues.
Let's go for Blues first, yeah.
I have to say, I love the playoff final. Mm-hmm. I love the Brentford semi-final for the Leyland Daff. For the Leyland Daff.
Home or away?
The away one.
Yeah, I went to that
when
one.
Studge scored.
Studge.
I absolutely love that one.
92 quid I paid for my ticket.
I did all that. I love the as I said, the Worthington Cup final, which was amazing to do. But I think for me, winning the semi-final against West Ham,
that was amazing.
When we were so far behind,
and then bubbles are popping all over East London.
We shut up the Cockneys. I loved it, and then and so taking it into the final, that was a day I'll never forget. And to this day, I kept when Omar Febby Martins put it in, I'm looking around, thinking, go on then, ref, blow the whistle. There's something wrong.
Something's going to blow.
And he didn't. Yeah. It was like wow, and to all that Arsene Wenger. Our injured player says Fabregas will pick up the cup. Yeah, on your bike. Loved it. But the semi-final, West Ham on a night game, the floodlights, Bowyer scoring, Garner scoring,
Johnson.
Just
what a trio
amazing.
of games though. Taking them out up the road, and then coming back from.
Do you know what the away leg against West Ham? We were unlucky to lose that. I think it was Foster. It was a Foster mistake right at the end. I think.
Carlton Cole wobble, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, that was the home leg, wasn't it?
We were odds on to lose that.
Wasn't that in the first leg?
Odds on to lose that.
Yeah.
Because we were 3-1 down at one stage, weren't we?
Yeah. When Cole scored at St Andrews,
Because at St Andrews, I got my 3 boys with me, and the final whistle went, and K. Sarah was ringing.
Amazing.
And I said to the lads, listen to this. Just listen to this.
I mean,
Beautiful.
as I said over the years, I'll tell you what was an emotional day to commentate on was the last day of the Cup. That was an emotional day.
I've got a piece of it at home.
Yeah, so have I. I've got a piece of rock. But I did the first hour of my programme from the Cup, which are, to this day, I've still got the pictures. It was an emotional day for me because I stood on the Tilton up for a long, long time. And I stood on the Cup with my dad when he first put me down the front. So yeah, it was emotional that, but I'd have to say, put on the spot, West Ham.
Yeah.
Semi-final was just blew me away. If I'm honest, a lot of the European games were
you
great.
You can hear the sound of bubbles popping all over.
Iconic.
Loved it.
Iconic commentary.
I know, but by the way, I still don't say I call them cheating. Chirpy Cockneys. I don't think I said cheating. Chirpy Cockneys.
I'll have to listen to the YouTube.
Yeah. Somebody might have tampered with the tape.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing day that, and to see all them Blues fans, and you know what I mean, and going to Wembley and catching up with them all on Wembley Way.
Miserable, drizzly, horrible day.
We had a big thing, free radio on Wembley Way, BRMB on Wembley Way. And they all, people coming up and we were giving them badges and having. It was just fantastic.
I've got one.
I went into the cafe at the bottom, went to the cafe with all the fans were there. I had some toast or sausage sandwich, can't remember. Just wonderful experience because I do miss going to the game with my mates. I miss that.
Yeah.
I miss going to the game with my mates. And I went to Bristol City away this year, not working. I just went. And it was absolutely brilliant. And it was just fantastic. Sat next to Gary's wife, and we had an absolutely wonderful time. Who, by the way, used to be a radio journalist at Swansea Sound, and so it was great. We were talking about radio and stuff, but it was just great just to go cheer the lads on and watch them win.
Yeah,
it was brilliant.
Always the best way to end it. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. So yeah, that was my game. The best game I ever saw in terms of atmosphere was as a young man. 1963, Blues 3, Spurs 3. We came from behind to get to 3-3 in the Cup. And that was the great double winning team as well for Spurs. Jimmy Greaves.
Bill Nicholson side.
Yeah, Jimmy Greaves, etc. And we went, the replay, we got beat again. But Ken Leake scored a 4th goal, which would have won the tie for Blues at home. But it was wrongly ruled offside. And I know it was offside, without VAR. I know it was offside to this day. Didn't make any difference though.
Quite a few people are saying the Ipswich semi-finals.
Ipswich, Granger at the far post. What a game that was as
I
well,
thought
by
that
the
was
way.
a golden goal. I was going mental. I was over
No,
3 or 4
okay.
seats.
What about... I tell you,
The bobble, the
other-
Johnson bobble, that'll be...
in strange games,
one of
though, you
them.
have strange games, don't you? Because Tranmere away, when we got relegated, was it Tranmere away? I mean, we'd won 10 out of 13 or something under Barry Fry, and West Brom had gone to Portsmouth, and because West Brom won thanks to a late Bob Taylor goal, we get relegated, and the manager's being chaired off.
Yeah.
And we've just been relegated. I found it all rather crazy to
Yeah.
try and understand. Huddersfield, when we got the double.
Yeah, promoted.
And Tate scored, and just amazing scenes.
Yeah, yeah.
I've had some, listen, it's been some great times, mate. Just seeing your team win is always wonderful.
Yes.
But special days like cup semi-finals and that is
you'll never
amazing.
forget.
Yeah, never forget.
Yeah.
And to this day, Wojciech's still my favourite Arsenal player of all time.
Who, sorry?
Wojciech.
Right.
The goalie.
Yeah.
He's the one that collided with Koscielny. It was brilliant. That'll stand him on as well. Barry Ferguson running past and clipping Koscielny round the head and just say, thanks a lot, pal. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Interjection. No problem at all. Competition time, ladies and gents. And don't forget to be in next week's competition. All you've got to do is share this on your personal Facebook stream.
We're doing a big... What we winning?
We are winning a bag of goodies. Keep right on goodies.
Clothing,
hats.
caps.
Bronx hat.
Bronx?
Yeah. We've had that a couple of
Am I
times
in it?
already tonight.
How do they get in?
They
have to share
just have to
these.
share the Facebook stream on their own page.
Oh, right. And that puts
Them in the next draw, yeah.
Qualifies you for the draw.
Don't even have to ask a question.
Brilliant. Right. It is... I have to do... It's Mr. T. Ross... Warmly. No, it's Wendy Jane Barnett.
Well, Wendy Jane Barnett, there you go.
Shared a live
Congratulations
video.
to you.
Wendy Jane Barnett. Congratulations, Wendy.
There you go.
Well,
Pulled out by Tom Ross. Could
Well
you
done,
sign that,
Mr.
Tom,
T.
and we'll
Ross.
send it off to her as
I'm
well?
not being funny. Could you make the writing any smaller?
There you go, mate. Oh, the Sharpie. Do it with the Sharpie, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. But it's you know, the games.
Gone.
The games have been brilliant. You know what I mean? Now, when you watch your team and you wait all that time, you go through all the bad times, the relegations. Then when you go a game like West Ham, and then you get the final.
Was you at the Notts County one?
Yes, I was.
Was you on the pitch?
Yeah. I was on the pitch at Villa
I don't
Park.
advocate it now.
Breaks rules, that is.
In
That's breaking rules.
1963, we beat Villa 3-1 at St Andrews in the League Cup final.
Yeah.
And I think I think I had to bunk off school early to get there because I'm not sure why, but I did. And the second leg, I was on the Holt end, 0-0, and Trevor picked up the League Cup. Trevor Smith,
Yeah.
Bertie Holt play, and I remember to this day running onto the pitch. It was wrong of me, and if the law wanted to arrest me, fine. But I broke the law that day.
I did it. And I actually had an England's Glory box full of turf. And I kept it.
From Villa Park.
No, from the Blues, on the Notts County
Oh,
game.
the Notts County.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Notts
yeah.
County game,
Do
yeah.
you remember the Charlton game? Terry Cooper.
Terry
Paul
Cooper,
Molden
yeah.
scored. Kept us up
Paul
again.
Molden, there's a blast from the past, isn't it?
Hey, funny enough, the other day I was speaking to Andy Saville.
Yeah.
Andy, remember Andy Saville? He's now doing corporate hospitality at Hull, and I was talking to Andy. I was talking to Scott Hiley. They all remember the club with affection, you know. This club gets in.
Yeah,
this
it's
club gets
crazy how
under your
many
skin.
people do, yeah.
It gets under your skin, this club. Now, even if you move away, it gets under your
Yeah.
skin. And I think that's... Whether the modern players will, I don't know. Somebody like Paul Robinson, it will. But will the modern... I'm not so sure. Maybe they don't stay around too long. But
yeah,
most
that's the
players,
difference, yeah.
from the past... I mean,
But even the likes of, not going too far back, like Oliver Tebley, like,
Yeah. I mean, he's still
not
second
even
now, isn't he?
not even English players.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he
John.
did an interview at his vineyard, and he was wearing his Blues jumper from
at
back
his
in the
vineyard, the
day.
game's gone,
Do
isn't
you know
it?
what I mean? But it's
Well,
it
it's
does.
to buying some grapes.
I know. I'm working
it definitely
desperately
does.
hard to get Mikel Forsell over
Yeah.
for the Former Players Association. I'm
Yeah.
working hard to get him over, which would be great.
Where does he live now?
You can bring him on if he
He's
does.
back home in Finland.
In Finland.
He was a great
He was
player.
a stunning
brilliant.
finisher.
Great
stunning
finisher.
finisher.
You know, when all you'd have gone home out the game ground, and I have to sit there because I was doing a phone
Yeah,
until
yeah.
7. Then there's probably only me in the press box.
Yeah.
He used to come out with the ball after a game
Yeah.
and practice in the box finishing after a game. The kid.
But that's why you get
That's
people
why he was
scoring
top
20
level.
goals.
That's
yeah.
why he was top level. And Gary McSheffrey got a lot of goals for us. You know, Gary
yeah,
McSheffrey.
yeah.
We're having a soon. I think can't remember the date, but there'll be a strikers night. We're getting a lot of strikers.
Oh, that'd be good, yeah.
Just strikers, you know.
Christoph.
Christoph was a midfielder anyway, but he wouldn't come. Although he played up front technically, I suppose. He's your original false number 9.
Just let him do wherever you want.
but he wouldn't come now. But he was great to watch. Yeah. Christoph Dugarry, not a legend at the club, wasn't there long enough for me, even though he was voted into the Hall of Fame. But watching him when I did,
just the impact.
Because I was fortunate. I covered for Capital. I covered all the World Cup in '98.
Okay,
so I saw him play in '98. So for him to wear a blue shirt,
it's crazy,
and I'll never forget Colin Todd's son, Andy Todd, kicking him up the backside at Blackburn.
Yeah.
Just out of frustration because he couldn't get near him.
Yeah. Richard Whitehead's come up with another Watford at home. What an atmosphere, ground full at 7.
When that, what was his name? Bumbongo? What was his name? What's his name? He cheated us that day as well. And what an atmosphere that was for the playoffs. Oh, and then you go the other way. What a dreadful atmosphere at the Barnsley playoff.
Was you at the
4-0 down after the first one? Yeah.
Oh, I had to go for the second leg.
Yeah.
Because we're Blues, right? Was you at the Kidderminster Harriers one?
Yes, I did commentary on that. I didn't do commentary on the Altrincham game, but I did it on the Kidderminster game, and one of my.
I think that's one of my low points.
One of my good mates was the manager of Kidderminster Harriers,
really?
Graham Allner. I used to play football against Graham, and I didn't want to talk to him.
No.
I didn't want to talk to him.
Number blocked for a couple of weeks.
And I was then BRB. I had to cover Kidderminster's cup run, and like, fair play to them. Listen, Blues just didn't perform. It's as simple as that. We just didn't perform.
Mike Smith, Tom, I grew up listening to your voice on the radio today. I still remember listening to you commentate on the Villa game, the Carling Cup quarter-final, biting my nails under my duvet, and the West Ham game. Bubbles are popping all over the Midlands. I think it was all over the East End of London. East End of London, wasn't it? Yeah. Love being a season ticket holder, but kind of missed listening.
Yeah, we had this conversation the other day with people, and it was because a lot of Phoenix and Global, who own Capital in London and Heart, a lot of presenters have had the boot, and they're going to network.
They're just going down the one route,
networking shows.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Then they put local stings in and local ads, and they think they can con people into thinking it's local. It ain't local. I've got to be honest. When Bauer took over Free Radio, they were brilliant for me. Bauer, I've got no complaints about them. They just didn't want to do live football. They might have wanted to do live football, but it's too expensive to do live football. I mean, people forget, I got it virtually dirt cheap in the last few years, but when Richard Park took over, Capital Radio took over BRMB, we were paying Blues and Villa lots of money, and Albion.
Yeah.
I mean, serious though. I'm talking about like nearly probably 300,000 quid. So people say to me, you don't pay for your ticket. Over the years, we've paid a lot of money for tickets. But my point is now, it's all about bottom line, and it's far cheaper to play a tune from a show that's networked out of Manchester or London than it is to pay for producers, reporters, IRN
DJs,
fees, licence fees to cover it, then pay the clubs, all that sort of stuff. It's far cheaper. So nobody's doing football in independent radio. The BBC are doing it, but they don't have a worry. It's not their money.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah. Pete Taylor, commentary on the TV when Dugarry scored. They can't stop him, but then who can? Still gives me goosebumps.
I think. I mean, it was clear from the moment he walked in. His first game. It was clear he was a step above everybody else.
Class above.
It was just that. I think it was 6 or 7 game streak where everything clicked and he just blew everyone away. And
Steve Bruce was telling me only recently. He was telling me because I was with Colin Tatham when Christoph come in to the room where we did the interview. It was only me and Tats there, and he's gone in that French Gallic way, shrugged his shoulders. It's not football. This is crazy. He couldn't get to what it was all about, the pace and the tempo.
Yeah.
But then Steve told me recently. He said, I'll never forget it. He said after he hooked him on one game, didn't he? Was it Villa? Was it Villa game he hooked him? I can't remember.
That was in his second season.
Just signed the contract.
Yeah.
Well,
and he came in on the Monday.
We've got some Villa fans joining us tonight.
Christoph Dugarry came in on the Monday.
Won't be long. Andy Pandu will be on soon.
Christoph Dugarry came on and said he walked in and he went, Steve, took the contract out of his pocket and ripped it up.
Really?
I said, I can't do this, and walked away. That was it. That was as simple as it was. He couldn't deal with the freneticness and the physicality of it all.
Yeah.
Great to have seen him now in a blue shirt.
Yeah.
Dolly Duster, thanks for your lovely comments. Tom Ross was and still is the voice of Birmingham City.
Why shouldn't Villa fans ring you up?
No, it's just they come on with swear words and all sorts of
Oh,
stuff.
do they?
Like that. Yeah, they're not very clever. Tom Ross was and still is the voice of Birmingham City, and the Tilton Talk Show is the heart of all Blue Noses to keep right on. Thank you very much for you, Dolly. Yeah, they go away usually when Andy Pandy comes on CCTV or whatever.
I mean, I've had a decent relationship with most Villa fans because when you call a game...
do you know what? I wouldn't mind any of them coming on, right?
If they're
yeah, absolutely.
But you have to, you know, I've had to cover West Brom, Wolves, Blues, Coventry, and Blues are my team. I've never hidden it, never had to. But when I've covered Villa games, I've called it properly and fairly. And I've told them one of the great games in my career was seeing them beat Tranmere in the second leg of the League Cup semi-final when they got to beat 94, and they got to play Manchester United in the final. That was an amazing thing. Inter Milan, when they played Inter Milan and won by a penalty in the last minute. King scored the penalty. So, you know, I'm not wanting, because I don't. There's not much hate in my life, if I'm honest with you. I hate paedophiles, I hate ISIS, but I don't. I always say, well, if I hate him as a footballer or I hate him as a football team, them, where do I go with ISIS and paedophiles if I've got hate? I've got nowhere to go.
That's true.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but also you've got no job, have you, if you start saying you hate?
But it's I don't. It's a question. People come up to me and outside the ground and go, "You must hate Villa." So I don't hate Villa. Birmingham are my team. I'm more concerned about promoting and cheering my team on than I am about wasting time and energy popping at other teams.
Yeah.
You know, I was fortunate enough to play for a lot of years. I played for the Albion All Stars with Bomber Brown, Bobby Hope, John Wilde, Brendan Batson, and I loved it. Now I'll run the Blues one, and I've had a great time doing that. But that doesn't mean, as I said, that doesn't mean you have to be aggressive. Not for me anyway. Maybe people will say it's wrong, but that's the way I am.
I get your point, and like I say, I could talk to any of them on here.
Sensibly.
Not a problem.
My proudest moment was watching my grandson this year lead the team out against Swansea.
Superb.
He's a season ticket holder. He's only 8, and he's fanatic about Blues. My daughter, his mum, fanatic Amy about Blues as well. I love it. That's what it's about. That's exact. You see, my other my granddaughter Amelia Johns, she's Derby fanatic. The Rams, because Curtis Davis is my son's brother-in-law.
Okay.
So they go to within. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What? This is
That's how you. That's how 99% of us choose our teams, don't they?
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, exactly.
My dad, that was it. My dad.
Yeah.
He taught me to sing "Keep Right On" when I was a toddler. That was the first thing I ever learned to sing.
My son could sing it before he could say "Mom."
Yeah, well, he taught me to sing it. What my old man, bless him and rest in peace, he never told me how tired and weary I'd get, or how long the bloody road was. But I'll never forget that. And recently, I buried my brother Danny, who was very popular at Blues.
Yeah, very sad.
He went everywhere with Blues, home and away. Went to England fanatic, went everywhere, South Africa, World Cups, went everywhere with them. And he was absolutely Blues crackers, and I mean crackers, about everything to do with Blues. But, you know, all his mates were Blues as well, but he worked with people who were Villa fans. He didn't hate anybody, you know. And when I buried him, you realise. Buried in a Blues coffin as well, by the way.
Nice one.
Yeah, and in his Blues kit.
Superb.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Villa fan up in my hometown.
Where's your hometown?
Uttoxeter.
You're not even a Brummie.
I used to live in Odington. Well, I stayed there for a week.
Territory?
I stayed there for a week. My other half's son was killed in Afghanistan in the war. Yeah. And this Villa fan and I stand shoulder to shoulder at the War Memorial every single 11th of the 11th.
At the Arboretum?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
No, in town.
Oh, in town.
In town.
Yeah.
And we shake hands before, we shake hands after, and then it's back to the banter.
Well, listen, I love banter. And I let me tell you, with people like you, I'm going to tell you now, I got a press conferences at Aston Villa on a Thursday, right? Thursday. I'll be there this Thursday. Dean Smith walks in and he goes, "The nose is here." The nose, that's what he calls me, the nose. I love the banter. I mean, up until a couple of weeks ago, I was going, mind the gap. I'm going to keep quiet now, to be perfectly honest. But we have that banter, and I love that banter. I love the banter. I ain't going to fight anybody over football. I'm really not. And I always say to people, I've had it all 40 years. I've had people ringing me, phone in, and on about it. If your member of your family, son or daughter, whatever, was lying dead in hospital, right, or lying injured in hospital, would you be saying to the surgeon, "You're not operating on my kid if you're a Villa fan"?
There you go. That summed it up.
You wouldn't, would you?
No.
So let's be sensible about it, you know. Although, having said that, you know, with all due respect, and people won't like it, it might be controversial, there are people I'd rather talk to than that idiot that run on the pitch.
Yeah.
We won't mention that on this show anymore.
Good on you. Because I won't mention his
we
name.
did it in the week one.
I won't mention his name.
We did it the week one, but we don't mention that incident
Good.
at all.
And rightly so.
Yeah.
No publicity for it.
Interjection.
We've just gone down on Facebook.
Ah, right, okay.
Still broadcasting there. Still broadcasting.
That's not a problem. Right.
What else did we say we were going to talk about? What else is that's gone on recently? Gary Monk.
Oh, sorry, can I just go back onto this? With
sorry.
the other things with other clubs, yeah? Steve Portman from Excessive Blues, you know Steve?
Yes, great lad.
Yeah, regularly mixed with other fans from other clubs, including match days, allies in access. So,
Good.
You know, and it's great to see, you know, if the members of the disabled community can do it,
Fabulous.
Why can't everybody else?
Why can't everybody?
Why can't everybody else?
Listen, there's a lunatics wherever you go.
Yeah.
And it ain't new. There was, when I was going in the early days, there was lunatics then. Mm-hmm. But, you know, for me, there's no place for it.
No.
There's no place for it. It's just, I just want to go to the match, have a great time, watch my team win,
Come back with a sore throat.
and go into the pub and have your banter with your mates. I mean, I had a mate who used to live next door to a Villa fan, and if Blues had won a derby when they were in the Premier League that time.
You're listening to the Tilton Talk Show every Monday on Facebook Live and SRBRadio.com at 7:30. Welcome back to part 3 of the Tilton Talk Show with our guest, Tom Ross.
That time, he used to walk up and down past his mate's house, looking in the mirror, in the window, desperate for him to come out. And you know what I mean? I love all that banter that goes on.
Yeah.
But the minute you step over the line, not for me, I'm afraid. Might upset some people, not for me.
Not for me.
Not for
Never
me.
done it.
I was at.
Look,
Sorry,
you've ran on the pitch.
Yeah.
I've run on the pitch. There we go. We're both guilty of that as charged, right?
I was in short
That's
trousers
it.
though.
That's it. I weren't. Question here from Carl Field. Why is it when you watch old blues games from the 70s you mainly hear Walk On and rarely Keep Right On? Because in the 70s, Walk On was quite often the song that we sang in the Tilton. Quite often. I
Walk
remember,
On?
Yeah, the Liverpool song.
You'll never walk alone.
I don't
Never
remember.
Walk
I
Alone,
was on
yeah.
the Tilton in the 70s. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I tell you what I do remember is Keep Right On. We Are the Lads from the Tilton. You know, those are the things that stick in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't remember You'll Never Walk Alone, if I'm honest.
No, man.
In the 70s, and I was on that when I started doing the tannoy, because I was the pitch announcer. I used to go to go on because I wouldn't sit in a box. I hated it. I wanted to be with my mates on the Tilton, and then I'd run round, do all the stuff, announce the teams, run back, stay with my mates, run round at half time, do the half time scores, and run back. It got too much for me in the end, and in the end I had to. But I love being on the terraces. The Tilton was one of my loveliest places to watch a game from.
Did you ever get to meet the guy who used to change the big squares over at half time?
No.
No.
Do you know what? I love that. Do you know what?
Yeah,
Can I
miss
just?
that.
There's a guilty secret of mine. I wanted that job.
Yeah.
I wanted to be the man that put up 2-0 or 1-0. I did, because when you've got a programme, they've got A, B, C, D, and all that. And you could probably, but mind you, now you'd need 14 pages, wouldn't you? 12:30 kick-off, 1 o'clock kick-off, 5 o'clock kick-off.
Yeah. And then, of course, I remember on the old main stand as well, used to be the flagpoles are still there. A flag of every club.
Yes,
in the division.
yes.
Every club in the division.
And when I started doing the tannoy, they only had speakers. You know where the tunnel
That
is
one
now?
great big one.
Yeah.
They only had the big speaker
Great
there.
big round one.
So I used to, when I did the tannoy, I used to get complaints from Tilton Corner. We can't hear you. And then I get complaints from the railway stand. You're too bloody loud, because I only had one speaker, so I didn't know what to do.
It was a great big hall, wasn't it?
Massive
I mean,
thing.
it was the size of this room, right? And it was like a white horn, if I remember right.
That's a big white thing up. So you could hardly hear me on the other side. It's crazy. The world's crackers.
Oh, but they were fun times, though.
Great times. I loved it. I loved doing that. And doing BRMB as well from the box as well. So I was doing the tannoy, it was just amazing times.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So where else are we going now then?
There
There must be something else to talk about blues.
is. There's loads. There's always something to talk about blues, isn't there? you can never not talk about Blues. You know, I was in the pub working away yesterday, and I can't remember which football team he was from, but we just chatted football, blah blah blah,
See,
and we go.
I'm just mindful, I think, of what happens now with Blues, because there has to be to engage the fans these days. That you have to be confident of ambition, don't you? I think it engages you. We'll always go and watch them, but it engages you that there's ambition. I'd like to know what that ambition is. You know, I'd like to know.
I think it's
if,
there.
Is Gary going to get a war chest to spend?
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to? Is he going to be able to have the wherewithal to change things? Because he does. Listen, we know Blues have punched above their weight this year.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I never, ever at any stage...
But we also know that we've got a superb backroom staff.
Absolutely, but I never believed at any stage they were going to get promoted, you know. Even when they were a few points away, I never really believed it, because I always knew it was a small squad. It had got, you know, certain positions were weaker than others. And so I never... But I thought, for me, mid-table would suit me this season, and then build on it.
See how I get it, Tom, is that at the beginning of the season, the supercomputer had us down in the relegation zone, and because we weren't there, I think that's why they knocked us 9 points off anyway.
Well, I'm telling you, the EFL, without doubt, are in danger of killing their own competition unless they sort themselves out. There are a lot of clubs, you know, looking over their shoulders, including our neighbours down the road.
Absolutely.
They're looking over there, and I'm told that the Aston Villa owners are the richest outside of Shetland Sewer, right? But you can't just throw money at it. You can't throw money at it. It's all about revenues. So how do they overcome that? Now, they should be allowed...
An assumption that a team with a very rich owner like that, and I don't want to mention their name specifically, gets promoted to the Premier League, can they then just throw money at it?
Yeah, different rules.
There are different rules, but there are rules.
But you get £200 million for being in the Premier League.
I've seen this banded around. You get £100 million guaranteed. Right, 100 million, and then for every place you finish high, you get. So if you finish second bottom, you get an extra 2 million, third bottom 3 million, etc., etc. So the top teams, they haven't moved, by the way, and straight away they're on TV more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Man City, so Man City probably going to get the 200 million.
Yeah,
right, 200 million. But a team just promoted gets 100 million. But what does it do to your wage bill anyway?
Yeah,
and then that's why chairmen are necessarily a little bit worried about spending all the money. West Brom are very cautious at the moment about spending because they never know if the third year of the parachute, and this is our neighbours down the road, their final year gone, parachute payments, then it kicks in. Then you are in serious trouble. Then you have to look at selling players. Why shouldn't they, and why shouldn't we, our owners, be able to say to the EFL, there you go, there's a irrevocable bond for £20 million. That's what we're going to spend in the transfer market.
Who does that upset?
Nobody.
Well, it upsets Man United, Liverpool, Everton, your big players in the men's game, who don't want to go spending all that money. The whole point of FFP.
I think you're wrong. I think it's more likely to upset the smaller clubs because the smaller clubs, FFP gets the chairman out of a hole.
But Man City weren't a big club.
They're a different league.
And they did what they did, and that's why FFP came into play, because your Manchester Uniteds and your Real Madrids and your Barcelonas don't want Chelsea and Man City and PSG to come in and upset the apple cart.
So tell me, FFP came in because Man City, which I think they're the company, what was it, Etihad was sponsoring the training ground, sponsoring, and so they brought all these rules in.
Yeah.
And what's happened? They still win everything.
I know.
They still win
doesn't make any
difference.
Doesn't make any difference whatsoever.
Because it's cost him £1 billion to put that team together. £1 billion, by the way. He could buy the EFL for that.
But it doesn't matter because they sold the stadium sponsorship rights and they built they've built a whole city with a training complex, and they've put everything into the women's side, and you don't have to. None of the FFP regulations matter about academies and women's sides and things like that, and they can just push all the money into there and everything like that.
You do stifle ambition if you don't allow people. If they don't allow rich owners to invest, they'll stop attracting, and then all of a sudden it won't be that long before the Premier League becomes by invitation only, because they won't want Rotherham there.
No. But Rotherham will never be able to.
No, but they won't. But what I'm saying, if by chance they manage it, they won't want them.
Yeah.
They wouldn't mind Leeds.
Oh yeah.
They'd rather have Leeds than Watford.
I mean, if it,
Crazy though it seems.
if it was Leeds, Sheffield United, and B6 who went up this year, fantastic.
And Sheffield Wednesday, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Huddersfield, Fulham and Cardiff go down and they're replaced by Leeds, Sheffield United and BC. Oh, wow.
You know what?
Hello. What a dream for the Premier
Do you know
League
one
that
of the
is.
things we've talked about all the time about this? Money.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
That's all it is
and
about.
The whole system is geared now to money. At one time, you've mentioned it half a dozen times in the 70s. Francis, Latchford.
He used to get paid a pittance, didn't
No, Francis, Latchford, Burns. Gallagher. What was the one thing he all came through the system?
he? Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, if Birmingham get really good youngsters,
Well,
there's nothing to stop Everton coming in saying, right, thank we'll have him for pittance.
Yeah,
Gone. Whereas Southampton sold Bale, they sold Walcott for tens of millions of pounds.
Yeah.
That kept them going. Port Vale made a living, Crewe, out of developing players, selling them. That kept them alive.
Yeah.
Now they can't. We're killing the game with this preoccupation with the Premier League and money. And until they sort that out, we've got no chance.
But look at the National League.
Tom, sorry.
Probably not, because worldwide.
Where did that come from?
But worldwide, see, this thing about it's a worldwide brand. No, it isn't. Abroad, the teams they want to watch most in Asia, America, Man United, Liverpool. They're the two big teams.
Yeah.
Forget who wins the title.
Yeah.
They're the two big teams in terms of broadcasting rights abroad. Broadcasting rights abroad is becoming more important than the home ones. You mark my words,
that's where the money
they'll be
is.
kicking off
Yeah.
at midnight. We'll have a 39th game played in America. David Gold said that years ago and he was spot
did, I
on.
remember it.
We're going to have this 30 and it'll be played somewhere else because all that matters is money. And, you know...
But having said that, he was guilty of that as well.
Yeah, maybe.
But you have this 39th game. Man United play Crystal Palace in New York at some point during the season.
Or in India or China.
Crystal Palace want that because look at the money that Crystal Palace will get from that, and then they can go and buy a £30 million
that's
striker.
why-
But it wouldn't be Crystal Palace, though, would it?
Yeah.
No.
What do you mean it wouldn't be Crystal Palace?
They wouldn't make
Crystal
it.
Palace. Say it was us. Say we went up into the Premier League, and the first season we went up, it was the
But
first.
in terms of TV sponsorship, not just the TV rights, but sponsorship and everything else, I'm telling you now, the Premier League would make it Man United, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then the advertising revenue would go through the roof all over the world.
It only needs one of them there.
What the Premier League would love, they'll never admit it, they'd love Celtic in there. Because worldwide Celtic are as big as any. Not big, and not for football reasons,
Yeah,
financial
yeah,
reasons.
yeah,
It's all
yeah,
about
yeah,
money.
yeah.
I'm sick to death of every conversation you get is money. Even
But
David,
not even the Premier League.
David-
The National League, Salford,
Paying
AFC
big
filed.
wages, paying big
Salford
wages.
and AFC filed are only in the top 7 because they've spent their way there.
But everywhere you go, it's about money. I remember David Sullivan, got beat in the playoffs. That's cost us X million. Not, I'm really disappointed.
Yeah,
It's cost
yeah,
us
yeah.
X million.
Yeah.
Got promoted. We've earned X million. No, not the glory. It's all about money and drives me crackers.
Well, the playoff final, it's not a playoff final, it's the £120 million
Most
game,
expensive
isn't
game
it?
in the world,
Yeah.
the 120 million
It's not,
pounds.
it's not a who can get to the Premier League, it's who can get all this money.
So, but I can't, you said, will the bubble burst? I can't see it.
only
Because
gonna get
while
worse,
there's an
aren't
appetite for the greatest game, and it is the greatest game on the planet, the greatest game on the planet, even though academies and coaches try to reinvent it every other week. You hear the new phraseology now. Rest football. What's it? What you do off the ball? We're talking about that 30 years ago. Don't try and reinvent a game that's simple. But nevertheless, it's about money, and it won't be anything different. And the people don't want to change it because they're the ones earning all the money.
On the subject of money,
I'm not getting any, am I?
No, you
Thank
haven't
you.
even got a biscuit, mate. Wants to know how much you think Shea's worth.
Well, this is a good one because I've seen this in various figures bandied around. He's untried outside the Championship. And he's only got one season in the Championship really under his belt, hasn't he, in terms of big goal scoring.
Big goals, yeah.
So...
But that's all you need.
So he'll go for a lot of money,
That's
but
all
he
you'll
ain't going to
need.
go for the 30 million I've seen.
Not
quoted.
30.
I think they'll get double figures for him because he's a goal scorer. If I was putting me, I'd say at the moment the way the market is, people will take a punt on him for 12 million, 12, 14 million, I would think. I can't see him going for much more.
Okay.
I really can't see
Anything
it.
less than 20 million, and I'm rejecting it immediately.
Good for you. I wish we could.
Yeah.
But that might be the get out of the jail card.
Maybe our hand will be forced. You're
That's
right.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, possibly.
You know.
But you'd have thought if your hand was being forced, they'd have known that in January.
I'm sure the EFL tried to force Blues
Yeah,
to sell
yeah,
Che
yeah,
Adams,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, this is what drives me nuts. You've got to sell Che Adams, okay? So you get 20 million. To
You're not
replace
allowed
Che
to bring
Adams,
anyone
but
in,
but to replace him, you're going to have to spend more than that anyway to replace him, and they won't let you spend it anyway. So they're killing your ambition.
Yeah.
They're killing you as a club.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
cannot be right.
Yeah.
That cannot be right.
100% agree.
The EFL is not fit for purpose. It's run by. It's a small place.
You heard it first here on the Tilton Talk show.
It's a small place, and you've got people on the panel, their committee, from like League 2 and League 1 clubs whose aims and ambitions are different. Far different to Birmingham Cities or Leeds or West Brom.
We mentioned it earlier. Tom's just said you've killed the ambition of Blues for 18 months now because we knew we had this hanging over us. So you've stopped us competing as a championship club. Meanwhile, Bolton players are having to go on strike for the next 48 hours because for the 8th time this season, over the last 12 months, their owner hasn't paid their players or staff on time. Who's the problem?
No,
who's the issue? Who should the EFL be looking at punishing here?
You see, the EFL will say, see what happened to Bolton? That's why we're protecting you. That's what they'll say. And this is why I say the easiest answer is to get the really rich owners, if they're serious, to put this irrevocable bond in so that if everything went pear-shaped, that's there to pay everybody and make sure all the debts are paid, make sure all the players are paid. You can do that. Sadly,
but
they
that
won't
hasn't
do
been
it.
the case with Bolton the last 2 months, though, is it? Bolton haven't paid their players for 2 months.
No,
That's
but
why they
what
were
I'm
on
saying
strike.
is, but in the end, the PFA will play them anyway. PFA would pay them. But my point is that if you had that irrevocable bond from the owner before he spent all the money and got them into trouble, it would have covered that. All I'm saying is, if your owners are that wealthy, make them prove it and put down that sort of irrevocable thing that says, OK, you can then go and spend that 20 million because we know you're good for it because we've got this irrevocable bond from you. Why not?
Yeah, yeah.
Go on then.
We've got yet another competition.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the 3-word review for this week, won by Ray Price with Hard Fought Loss.
Hard fought loss.
Oh, from Friday, that presumably.
Yeah.
Get in touch, Ray.
But you know, the one thing I will say is, and I think the fans have been great under Gary Monk this year, because Gary Monk gets it. He gets it.
Yeah.
You know, he knows what this is about. He gets us.
It's the perfect fit,
He's
isn't
engaged with the fans. He talks to the fans. And remember, I mean, I can't remember. Have a look. Is it 3 wins in 15 we've got?
Not, yeah.
3 wins in 15, I think. Listen, but they're still with him. And he's united everybody, and we're going to need that in these last 7 games. We're going to need everybody together because, you know, I personally, I think they'll be okay, if I'm totally honest with you, because I think Rotherham, Bolton, I think will go.
Yeah.
They've got too many problems. Ipswich are down, and Rotherham are bereft of confidence after that hammering.
Yeah.
And we play them. We play Rotherham.
As do them across the road.
We play Rotherham
as well.
We play Ipswich. We play Reading, and we play
Wigan.
Millwall.
Wigan.
Wigan. So it is
yeah,
Wigan.
yeah.
Now these are big games, but you know, win them all.
Leeds and
see-
Sheffield United in the next week are as well. You know, they've got their own things that they're going for, obviously. But the pressure is arguably, you know, as equal on them as it will be us.
But I personally think watching Blues. I've seen every home game this season. Blues are far better equipped the way they play. If you watch
the
Blues,
setup. Yeah,
Blues say to the opposition, "Have the ball."
Yeah.
I think against West Brom, it was about 80-20 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Blues played us well with that 20% what they had. And I think Blues say, "Have the ball, and we'll catch you on the counter."
We'll do our damage when we get it back. Yeah.
When teams come to St Andrews and sit like Millwall did, Blues haven't the answers. Yeah. So I think maybe Sheffield United and Leeds, we might be better against them.
Yeah.
We might actually be better against them. I'm banking on it anyway, you know.
Not going to do the last 15 minutes tonight, mister. Out of respect for Tom being here.
What do you do normally then?
Normally I'll do a word association. Like I'll pick a subject and then people will
Like what?
Word association. Right, okay, let's say...
Oh, you're going to start Tom off now, aren't you?
All right, okay, what we'll do is the last 10 minutes then. It's anything you'll find in the bathroom with anything to do with the football. I'll start you off with Talcum Page.
Oh, good one. Yes.
Look at his face. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Talcum Page, I like that.
Tell you what we'll do, Dick.
Yeah.
I'll look.
You look at them.
I'll look at
Right.
Right at the end.
It's got to be blues related.
No, footballers, anything to do with footballers.
So could you accept bathroom Matt Doherty?
Yeah, why not? The idea, see, is to try and make him smile. This is the idea.
I hate it. I absolutely
Hey,
hate you.
can I just say? Can I
Tom
just
Floss. We've got Tom Floss.
You said
Sorry, I
that.
couldn't help that one.
You said earlier you haven't quite got enough room in your life for hate.
I know.
I have. I've got plenty
Can I
of
just
room
say,
in my life for
seriously,
hate, and I
seriously,
hate this
You need
section
a
of the
bit of
show
therapy here because you need to chill.
for more than one reason.
You need to chill. You need to chill.
Right, can I eat a little bit of humble pie?
Oh, hang on.
You can try.
No, this is straight from the heart. Right,
Yeah.
okay, and I've knocked. But for England to score 10 goals in 2 games
Yeah.
was absolutely amazing.
They're a terrific outfit.
They are looking a terrific outfit.
They are a terrific
They're
outfit.
looking a terrific outfit.
They have-
I don't think they're a terrific outfit
Time
yet.
will tell.
I think we've been very pleasantly surprised under Southgate.
Yeah.
Youngsters coming in. We are ever so good in this country at getting carried away. We haven't, when we start.
But if you can't let yourself get carried away.
No, well, no. But you have to be realistic. There has to be a touch of realism in it because
yeah.
who've we beaten?
But I don't buy the who have we beaten because
think that's important.
You look around the rest of Europe and teams aren't blowing teams away anymore. Slovakia aren't a Slovakia of the 1970s. Montenegro aren't a Montenegro of 10 years ago.
Two countries, then it was Czechoslovakia.
Well, yeah, but these teams aren't nobody's anymore. They're better players are playing in the top tier. Spain are beating teams 2-1. Italy, and Germany are struggling to get out of World Cup groups.
Right, I do agree there because at one time, and I had this conversation the other day, England could beat a team 6-0 easy.
Yeah.
But now those teams, Kazakhstan and teams like that, they've got qualified coaches, well organised players. Yeah. But it's interesting that a lot of the African countries, their best players are playing in the Premier League, which is making them better players for their national teams.
Of course it is.
Right, so in the end, our Premier League doesn't help our national team. Never has.
And we've had this discussion before. I'll disagree with you there as well. So just for a laugh, I'll disagree with you there as well because
listen, I've been married 4 times. I'm used to people disagreeing with me.
Because if our young players, so if Raheem Sterling's playing week in week out in a league 80% full of English players, you aren't going to get the Raheem Sterling you've got now. Raheem Sterling's developed the way he has because he's played alongside exceptional international players, and he is up against the best of the best in defensively as well.
I don't see how you can say that using that analogy. Until England wins something, you can't say that. Until England wins something.
You said earlier, Tom.
Until they win something.
Only one team can win something, especially
absolutely.
internationally.
But you'd like to be there or thereabouts.
We got to a semi-final.
The Euros. The World Cup is a different thing.
It was a World Cup. It was a World Cup last year. We got to the semi-final of a World Cup.
Yeah.
Belgium.
Yeah, the World Cup last year.
Right, the Euros are next, aren't they?
Euros are next.
I just don't think it's. I don't think it is for me. I thought we were well beat. I just don't think we're as good as you make us out to be. I think we're better.
I think we're getting better and better and better.
I like his philosophy with the youngsters.
Yeah.
What I don't like, and this is what I don't like about him, if you haven't been in their system, you're probably not going to play. I know you hate me mentioning him, but Grealish is an example because he wasn't in their system. You look at all those players, under 9s, under 10s, under 15s, under 17s, under 21. He wants players in the system. I
don't think that's him. I think that's the FA. I think that's the FA blueprint. I think it's we will play every single age group will play exactly the same way. So whether you're playing under 13s England,
I'd love England
schoolboy football or full team football, England will set up exactly the same way so that when you're playing the current 12-year-olds who are playing schoolboy football for England, in 10 years' time, when they're 22, they'll have been playing that way for 10 years under different coaches with the same group of players. So then when they're all 22, in 10 years' time, they know each other, they know exactly what they're doing as a team.
See, where I think he's wrong, when he talks about until you've played, we want players who've got to play in the Premier League because they have to play these.
Yeah.
I honestly believe international football is a lot easier to play because it is without any sort of physicality.
Yeah.
It's all about playing. The Premier League's different to that.
Yeah.
There's much more energy, much more pace, much more, thing. You know what I mean? It's a higher tempo game that we play.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of the coaches that come to this country, the Guardiolas, they want their tempo slowed. They don't want it played as frenetically as we do play it. And I think that's the problem. So I ain't so sure. I'm sure it's easier for them players to play for England than it is to sometimes play for their clubs.
Yeah, possibly. Well, Hudson-Odoi and Hudson-Odoi came
The
in.
competition's coming up. It's next year now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Competition. So,
The
Euros.
Euros.
And
the Nations
You've got the
League.
Nations League this summer and then the Euros next year.
what a waste of time that is. From my point of view,
Better than friendlies.
That is such an unfounded statement.
Why?
There is no substance behind that statement
I think
whatsoever.
it's better than playing friendlies.
How can that be a waste? How can the Nations League be a waste of time
Bring the
when you used to have? Well, there's
Well,
another
I would.
thing.
I would. I
What
love the
another
international.
ridiculous thing to say.
Why?
So in this summer we'll be playing the Netherlands and then a final, possibly against Portugal in Portugal. Would you rather have that, or would you rather play every year a side that's just lost 3-0 away to Kazakhstan? Which one's going to improve you as a team?
Hang on.
The only reason you want that is so you can laugh at Scottish people.
Before Birmingham got in the Premier League, you were one of those going, can't wait till we play Villa. No difference with England, Scotland.
Well, no.
1-0.
At the time, Villa were a Premier League side.
See, he smiled. We've got a smile.
You did get a smile. At the time, Villa were a Premier League side. I'd much rather play a very good, improving Netherlands side this summer.
So would you
than
rather see
have to
Birmingham playing Man U or Villa?
Man U.
No, not for me. I love the derbies. Love the derbies.
If it improved you as a side, I'd rather have a tournament where we go abroad and play Real Madrid, Man United, and Barcelona, rather than have a tournament in Northern Ireland where we play Wolves, West Brom, and Villa.
See, on me, I'm all about. I love. Maybe I'm a bit older, and so I accept that I'm probably a traditionalist.
Here's the problem, right?
I love the.
Here's the problem. And
Football's
I love
about
the derby.
Football's
I
about
absolutely
passion.
love Blues
Go
Villa
back to
games.
the times when we had Hugh Johns and Star Soccer on, yeah, and we had a Midlands Division 1, right, with all the Midlands teams. We didn't have to travel very far to go to a football game. It was Stoke, it was Coventry, it was Blues, Baggies, Wolves, them up the road. There was loads of them. I think Oxford was probably the furthest one. And I think we probably got spoiled back then by having that, right? And of course, you always hold on to your memories about it. And we haven't got it now, right? We've got to go to Rotherham or...
I've been to loads of England, Scotland games. It's the passion, the excitement. I get more out of that. And I went to see England play France after all the shootings in France. It was a very very emotional night. But in terms of the passion of the football, was nothing like England, Scotland. Nothing like it. It's not just the game. It's the weeks building up, everything about it.
The passion of a game doesn't improve you as a team.
But it's not. Why is it? Why? It's all about.
I want as good a Blues team and as good an England team as possible. I want the best for my team, and the best for my team is to improve. The best for England is not to play Scotland every summer. It's to play the best teams every summer and see where you are against these best teams. But you see,
this is another mistake. Why does it have to be? Why can't it be as well as and not instead of? You can have the Nations League.
Where are you fitting them in?
Well, you do already. They've still got friendly games now with the Nations League. The Nations League, if it was the home internationals, for example, the Stanley Rouse Cup, wasn't it? We played for Stanley Rouse Cup. You could have that. You could also have your other competitions and play your Spains and whatever else. But But have you ever seen any of them take them seriously? England, Scotland's always serious. A friendly against Spain, World Cup's different, Euros are different. Friendlies against Spain and Germany. We beat Germany 5-0, if I seem to remember rightly, in a friendly, and couldn't win a penalty shootout for I don't know how long. We could beat them in big competitions, but we beat them in a friendly. Friendlies, but there's no such thing as a friendly with England, Scotland.
Well,
There we go. We have the end of the word association, and the ones that Chris has chosen out are these: Gel Merrick.
What? Gel Merrick?
Gel Merrick, hair gel.
Oh, that's a bit rough. That.
Luther Blissett.
Luther Blizzard, I like that.
Ian Bogbrush. Ben Floster. Paul Plugber. No. Trevor Sinclair.
Sinclair, yeah.
Omar Bogrol.
I like the way you're trying to sort of explain them.
Hotter water instead of hotter chocolate this week, at least.
Yeah.
He's not having it, are you?
No,
Lee Damp.
definitely not.
Christoph Plugary and Lee Carsey.
Yeah, good fun. Now listen, there's
I love fun.
I learned,
That's why you're called Mr. Fun.
but I learned it a long time ago in radio. It doesn't always have to be serious. Entertainment, humour, have the line.
Have a look. Chuck it all in.
you got
Right,
the
okay, very quickly. Game, Saturday.
1-1.
1-1. Tom.
How about this? 2-1 Blues.
2-1 Blues. Chris Brown.
2-1 Blues.
Adam Wilkes.
2-2.
Ooh, I'm going to go
Gutless.
2-0 to the Blues.
Hey, they've all been to B&Q, ain't they? Get them fences.
Absolutely. Oh, well, at least we don't go Dunelm.
He smiled again, by the way. I've got two smiles out of him.
He's cracked one.
I love my fence.
He's cracked.
Nice and comfortable.
Tom Ross, it's been an absolute pleasure and a delight to have you back
Yeah,
in with
we've
us
got
again.
so
The
much more
time's
to
just
do.
flown past.
You call me back any time. I'd love to come again. It's great
Yeah,
fun.
no problem. Tomorrow.
Will there be any biscuits? It'll be after Lent. I want biscuits.
After Lent. When does Lent finish?
19th. Well, yeah. He's 19th to the 22nd,
I
isn't
dare say you might have some leftover bits of chocolate.
But it's been an absolute pleasure, and
Mr.
keep
Fun,
right
thank you
on.
very much indeed for your
Thank
time
you.
and your efforts and for smiling.
But by the way, just a lot of things, a lot of talk about the keep right on before the kick-off. The Blues.
Yeah.
That is the one Ian and Dan and I did. Ian Dan and the Blue Nose Brothers. That's our song.
Okay.
And we did it deliberately, trying to make it as close to how the Terraces do it.
Yeah.
As not, so that he could play it and drop it out, and the singing could.
When they drop it at the right moment,
And-
it's fantastic.
and people continue.
And everybody carries on. Brilliant.
And I think that's why we did it that way.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for clearing that one up, Tom.
Yeah.
Adam Wilkes, thank you very much. Mrs. Brown. And for myself.
bye.
Keep right on. Phil St Andrews on Saturday. Not sure if I can get there. I've got a lot of work. I know I've got a DJing job to do Saturday night.
Drop it.
Work in the day.
Drop it. It's only money.
It buys my fence.
You haven't got a fence. You went 2-0 Blues.
The game's gone.
Tom, anytime, mate.
Cheers, mate. Nice to be here.
Thanks ever so much. I don't know where the time's flown to tonight, but that's the way it is. I'd like to thank all the people from B6 for joining in tonight. Pity about your spelling.
Good night.
We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? We are the lads from...
Tired of ads interfering with your favorite sports podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening is available on Amazon Music for all the music plus top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Stay ahead of the game by downloading the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/sports ad free. That's amazon.com/sports ad free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.